So you're telling me that if you are a waiter and you work by tips, you're going to sit me down, take my order, not even come one damn time to check on my table, not refill my waters, not refill my drinks, not ask me how everything is, not check on me the whole time we are there, okay? And I'm in the wrong for not wanting to tip you? Let me know if I'm tripping that I don't want to tip you because you're working off of tips. And at the same time, you would think you would kind of give it a little effort to want to earn a tip. I don't need to just leave you a tip just because tipping culture says you have to. I don't have to. I don't have to leave you a tip. At least have customer service for me to want to leave you a tip.
So welcome back, guys, to another video. Today we'll be looking at something special. We'll be looking at the tipping culture in America right now. We've seen a lot of videos on this particular topic, all right? People complaining about the tipping culture, how tipping culture has gone rogue, and we see people being blackmailed, people being put in positions where they are uncomfortable because they don't pay tips, and people are beginning to really complain about this. So we have a ton of videos on this particular topic for you guys. So if you enjoy these types of content, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, and leave a comment. Would really love to hear your side of the story.
I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this because this is a heated topic for a lot of Americans, but tip is not meant to pay for your wage. Just FYI, tip is meant for service. That's how it was invented. If I go to a restaurant, I get served. Someone brings me the menu. Someone brings me my food. Someone gets me the check. That's when I fucking tip. If I didn't like the fucking service, I don't tip well. If I did like the service, I tip really well. If I, let's say, go to a coffee shop and a counter, I order my coffee and then I have to go back and pick up my fucking coffee, I ain't tipping you. You didn't fucking do shit.
Not gonna lie, bro, you can't convince me to tip a DoorDasher or Uber Eats driver. And I say this as someone who's like had friends who like do it and they're like, yeah, bro, you need the tips. And I'm like, I just can't do it. Because here's my thing, okay? It would be one thing if like the food or like, you know, the groceries were just the food and groceries. But my problem is when you get the food and groceries, there's already all those extra fees. So I'm like, bro, if I'm already gonna pay these extra fees, why am I gonna give this dude like a little more change for me? Like, nah. It's like I genuinely feel bad about it. But at the same time, I'm like, bro, like they need to just start paying them more. I'm not gonna lie. Because if they're gonna give me the option to not pay, I'm not gonna pay. Okay, now mind you, if I go into a restaurant, I'm gonna pay because of like just sheer social pressure. I do not want to tip when I'm in a restaurant either, but I'm gonna do it just because I'm gonna do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't want people looking at me like, oh man, he stiffed the waiter, he stiffed the waitress. See, like that's another example where it's like I gotta watch my public perception. But like Uber Eats, DoorDash, bro, I'm editing the amount, going all the way to zeros. And I'm so sorry when I do it. But like at the same time, bro, like what are we gonna do?
This might be controversial, but tipping culture in America has absolutely gotten out of control. Hear me out. If I sit down at a restaurant, I tip. If you do my hair, my nails, if you're providing me a service, I tip. But like everywhere is asking for tips anymore. I went to Tropical Smoothie today. Screen flipped around, they asked me for a tip. Same with Starbucks. Hand her my card through the drive-thru and she says, do you want to add a tip to this card today? Tip for what? It put you in a super awkward situation. Also not what tipping is supposed to be. There was a time that tipping was not an obligation. Tipping is a word for good service, not the bare minimum. Honestly, people get mad at customers for not tipping. If I go out to eat, I'm paying for the food. Shouldn't it be my job to subsidize payroll? If your job doesn't pay you enough, that's on your employer, not the customer trying to buy a Jimmy John's sandwich, okay? If I'm getting up to refill my own drink, what am I tipping you for? People will side-eye you, straight up get mad if you don't tip, even if all they did was hand you a bag. If tipping is expected, it's not a tip. It's literally a hidden fee. For a majority of places, your paycheck is your employer's responsibility, not mine. Bye.
I'm sorry, y'all don't have to agree with me. I never gave a I am not tipping you for some shit that is really not even tippable. That never before the last 3 years would anyone ever have thought about asking for a tip for. I'm sorry, it's not happening. Service providers are one thing, okay? Tattoo artists, cosmetologists, estheticians, hairdressers, makeup artists, whatever. That's one thing. Okay, servers, delivery drivers, even like sometimes if I'm ordering takeout or I'm picking up a to-go order, expos, because I've served, I've expoed, I've hosted. I get it, sure. Drive-through, no. No, I'm sorry. Ben and Jerry's just for a scoop of ice cream, no. It's not happening.
I don't know who need to hear this, but nobody has to tip you. Nobody has to tip you. If you a DoorDash driver, if you a Uber Eats driver, I don't give a damn what type of driver you are. When you take somebody groceries or whatever they bought to their front door, it is not your job to ask them where the your tip is, okay? I don't care if you think you didn't see the tip online. I don't care if you wasn't expecting a tip in person. You do not ask nobody what the your tip is. When I tell you, I wish one of y'all would ask me that. I wish y'all would, because at the end of the day, if somebody gonna tip you, they gonna tip you. If you don't see the tip, move the on. And from what I heard, I think some of y'all even see that you don't have a tip. Y'all see a lot of things before y'all even take these goddamn orders. I don't know what's going on with the entitlement these days. Why the are y'all so goddamn entitled? Why are y'all so entitled? Stop demanding tips from mother. Okay? Stop expecting that shit from people, okay? That's why y'all be disappointed. Y'all have to know people don't have to tip you. Tipping is an option. So get over it. Y'all got some motherfucking nerve.
Tipping culture in America is something I can't quite get my head around as a Brit that's just gone and paid for some food. Why am I paying somebody extra for the basic service that they do on a day-to-day basis? It's their job. Like, I'm not giving you anything extra for doing the bare minimum. This black coffee and bagel just cost me $10, which is relatively steep. I am in New York, so that does explain part of it, and I also don't understand the tipping culture entirely. I know they have to make up a proportion of their wages with it, but we're going to see what it's like and see if it's worth it, because I just added an extra 15% onto the $8.50 originally. So here we have it, the black coffee and the cinnamon and raisin bagel with jam and butter on the inside. Cheers everybody. Nice. They toasted it for me as well. Lovely.
I got my food from the Muffins Cafe on Columbus Avenue, which is just 5 minutes from Central Park. Lots of great options with an outside seating area, but did it cost too much? Let me know your opinions in the comments.
Tipping culture has gotten so out of hand, and it's at the point now where people try to trick you into giving a bigger tip. I went to a bar last night and I got a canned seltzer, which was $11, by the way, criminal, but all the bartender had to do was open the fridge and hand me the can. And he wasn't even pleasant about it. He hands me the can and it's just like, cash or card? And I'm like, card. And he's like, open or closed. But when I looked at the card reader to fill in the tip, I did a little double take because this was like a step further than I've ever seen. It used to be 15, 18, 20, then it moved to 18, 20, 25. Now it's like 20, 25, 30. And then they switched it where it would be like 25, 20, 18, like trying to trick your muscle memory. But this time the default options were 50, 30, and 25. And I almost fell for it because like a 5 and a 2 kind of look similar, you know what I mean? But I've never seen it that high before. Like I know it continually increases, but like 50% is kind of crazy. I wonder how many people just like unknowingly tap it and don't even realize. Like I know tipping is important, but to an extent, like you handed me an overpriced can and want 50%, but it happens in different ways all the time now. Like never forget the time where they tried to force me into tipping for tap water. I was like, really?
Does anybody feel bad when you tip less than 50%? So my personality is that I want to please everyone, which means sometimes even though I got bad service, I will still tip over 50%. However, today is my birthday. My husband took me to a famous Brazilian steakhouse. The food were amazing. The service, however, not so good. For some reason, everybody around us get well served. The waiter keep coming to checking on them, refill their drink, taking away their plate. Me and my husband are the only one who get left out. Nobody come to check on us. Nobody refill our drink unless we told them. And nobody take away our plate. At one point, we have to stack the dirty plates together until Susan saw it and come to move it. And it is a really fancy restaurant. I expect you take away the dirty plates before I stack them. So because of that, me and my husband agreed that we are not going to tip them 50% at lunch. We tip 12%. And on the receipt, they don't have the nerve to tell me that the suggestion tip is 20%. So I write a note to say that, okay, if you want 20%, you should take away the plate before I stack them. But for some reason, maybe because of my personality, I always feel bad when I undertip, even when I got bad service. Like, why? I hate it so much. In China, we don't have tip. No matter what kind of service you have, you do not need to tip. So I never feel bad about it. But in America, If you get bad service, I'm ashamed to undertip. Like, why?
Tipping is needed in parts of America due to lack of pay. Without digital tips, I work at Starbucks, I would be making $700 a paycheck working full time. Listen, I feel for you, girl, but it's not the job of the American public to pay your bills. It's the job of the multi-billion-dollar corporation that you work for called Starbucks. Tipping is an added bonus when you receive a really great service. It's not an expectation. The consumers of America are not expected to tip you astronomical amounts so that you can pay your bills. It's not our job. We have jobs. Starbucks has also lost their damn mind with the way that they do tips because one, you have to press an option in order to check out, and they put the thing in your face and say, it's just gonna ask you one question. And then the options for tipping are $2, $3, and $4. And I'm paying $6 or $7 for a medium coffee. So I'm supposed to pay $11 for a coffee so that I can help pay someone's bills because Starbucks isn't paying them enough? No, just absolutely no. I'm not going to do it. It's not happening. And I'm happy to throw a barista a couple bucks or 20%, like if the service is great, but 20% on a $6 coffee is $1.20. Where are we getting $2, $3, and $4? This is 60, 70% tipping. That's insane. Imagine if you went to a restaurant and spent $100 on a meal and the server came out with an iPad and the tip options were $60, $70, or $80. People would be rioting in the streets. I just think that this mentality of like you as the consumer should pay me $8, $9, $10, $11 for a coffee because Starbucks doesn't pay me enough to survive in the part of the country that I live in is a really crazy like mentality to have.
3, 2, 1. So I believe that tips were actually designed or put into the system for individuals to, in a way, appreciate the service that they've been given. All right. So you enter a restaurant, you walk into a restaurant, and you love the way you're attended to. All right. So it becomes your gesture to say, you know what, I'll leave a tip. You know what, I'm grateful for how you served me. I'm grateful for how you did this particular task. So I just want to say thank you. All right. But now it's almost becoming, in fact, not just is almost becoming, it has become a critical part of the system. It has become ingrained in shopping. So there are places where you have to choose whether or not to tax. Sometimes you're even given the percentage of tax you are going to pay. Also, in many cases, the servers tend to treat you in a funny way if you click on, you know what, I'm not tipping. All right, because they have tip or no tip. All right, or yes tip or no tip, something like that. All right, and then when you say you're not going to tip, the way you're going to be attended to in many cases is wrong. All right, so I just believe that this should not be so. So one of the ways I can curb this tipping culture, hustle, and sorry for calling it that, all right, is if employers get to pay their customers well. Because and also there are cases where even the servers or even the people working in these places, in these service-based businesses, they are not even the one receiving the benefits of these tips. All right, it goes straight to the employer. So there are cases where people don't even receive it at all. And then also I would like to say that employers should pay their workers well, their employees well. We're not trying to um, use people's generosity, forced generosity in many cases, to kind of supplement what they are supposed to pay them. In many cases, the people who are actually doing the job are not receiving the benefits of these tips. All right, so these are just my thoughts, and I just thought to share with you guys. All right, so let us know what you think about the tipping culture. Let us know your experiences, and please, if you enjoy this kind of videos, like I said before, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Thank you for sticking around.